aim to grow premium products that can't be grown in Qatar, but I like to prove that wrong.
We can do a lot of work here in Qatar and we didn't need to import it from outside.
We have committed to our government here in Qatar to introduce every year 2 to 3 new factories in Doha, Qatar.
Hello and welcome to Qatar 365. I'm Laila Humaira, and on this episode, it's all about Made in Qatar. From idea to end product, we'll meet businesses big and small making waves at home and abroad. One such firm is Suhail Industries, a leading manufacturing conglomerate producing processed metals, plastics, and steel. And when it comes to the nuts and bolts of running a business, Suhail Industries is a well-oiled machine, powering up Qatar into an industrial juggernaut. These industrial pipes are waiting to be packed and shipped halfway across the globe to the US. The pipes don't leave the factory until they're thoroughly checked and painted with an important label, Made in Qatar. Back in 2012, Suhail Industries was a battery recycling factory. Since then, it's grown into an industrial powerhouse that includes recycling and manufacturing bronze, copper, aluminium and steel castings, plastics, and even paper.
Right now we have 15 factories, all of them in the engineering industries. They are a foundry, which converting the steel scrap to cast iron and ductile iron castings.
Among the 15 factories, there's one that stands out from the rest. Housing Suhail Engineering Industries, it's the company's newest and most high-tech factory to date. This sprawling site boasts a land area of more than 13,000 square meters with nearly 60 industrial machines. Other than the noise, this isn't your typical factory floor. High-tech machinery, air conditioning, and even a little greenery. Suhail Industries is challenging the idea that an industrial factory can't also be sustainable and eco-friendly, just like its products. This bronze valve is being measured to the precision of 1 to 100th of a strand of hair, which is part of Suhail's strict quality control. The verdict? It's a pass, which means mass production of the valve can begin.
Our main target was to have a state-of-the-art factory, to have it friendly to the environment, to have zero impact, basically any wastes that could affect the environment to be there, to be handled properly, and to have a good atmosphere for the employees. So we used like Japanese methodologies, having like trees in the factories, which brings a good vibe to everybody working in the factory.
And this working environment is helping to boost production and ultimately exports. Business is going so well for Suhail Industries that its international market makes up more than half of its clientele.
For Qatari market, we are targeting only 20 to 30%. The rest, 20% for GCC countries, and the remaining it's for the whole of the world. Right now, Suhail exporting every week, in average 15 containers to the whole of the world, 10 of them to USA market, and 5 of them for China, for Europe, for Korea.
But that doesn't mean investment at home is stopping. In fact, Suhail Industries is revving up expansion in Qatar, helping the country move towards a self-sustaining future in line with Qatar's 2030 vision. From factory to farm, it may be hard to believe that where I'm standing now, right in the middle of the desert, is where households all around Qatar get their fresh daily vegetables from. This is Safwa Farm, one of Qatar's oldest family-owned businesses, and I'm here to meet Fardan Fahad Al Fardan, the CEO of Safwa Farm, to find out how the company is using high-tech farming methods to plant the seeds of Qatar's self-sustaining future. Fardan, thanks for having us here at the farm today. Firstly, Safwa Farm can be considered a pioneer in the Qatari agricultural industry. Can you tell us a little bit more about how Safwa Farm came to be?
It started in 1975. It was more of an area for my family to go for a picnic every weekend. It was around, let's say, 100 square meters back then. and now it grew to around almost reaching 1 million square meters. I had small aquaponic machines at home. I used to grow my cherry tomatoes and basil for my pizza because I love pizza. I told my grandfather about this system and that, you know, the people don't grow this in the market, and if I can grow it, I'm sure anyone can grow it. He told me in the mid of summer, if you can put your own money and grow it in front of me, I will invest in it for you and make it part of the family group. That was 3 years ago, and today we're doing much more than what we did in the beginning.
And looking back at Safwa Farm as it started from humble beginnings really, but it's now grown into a company that's using high-tech horticultural techniques. How does the company stick to its roots while also using technology?
We aim to grow premium products that can't be grown in Qatar, but I like to prove that wrong. So we have from your normal European Italian basil, your kale, your Lolo Biondo, butterhead, and of course high-end peppers like you see behind us are habaneros.
And looking at around us where we are now, it's so green. How does Safwa Farm make such green crops without using soil?
To be honest, I'm amazed myself that we did it. So I think outside right now is from 48 to 50 degrees, but inside we're reaching temperatures of 28 to 30 degrees, which is for some crops very good. It makes a big difference because we're in the desert. For example, in aquaponics, you need a lot of water, but 90% of the water is recyclable. Wherein you use normal old school farming, you lose all of it. And because Qatar is such a small country, land is not as much as available. So going vertical is also another target we're doing.
And finally, as a truly made in Qatar brand, what does it mean for Safwa Farm to be at the forefront of Qatar's self-sustaining goals?
Right now we're reaching 30 tons a year. Come back in November, it's going to be 180 tons. If that's not enough, we can double, we can triple. You know, sky's the limits with this. Again, if we fulfill the requirements, we will plan to export eventually.
Big business, small business, one family. Adel Halim recently met with a father-daughter entrepreneur duo. The father has had a customized furniture business for almost 2 decades, while his 20-year-old daughter recently set up her own eco-friendly cards business.
Nice to meet you.
Me too. It's my pleasure.
Thank you.
Welcome to our workshop.
You just opened this?
Yeah, just 3 months ago, we transferred to the permanent one. Finally, our permanent workshop.
It's been a long time coming, but Ayman Natcha finally has a place to call home. He's managed Azur Trading and Contracting since 2009, specializing in home, office, and retail renovations. The Palestinian businessman takes great pride in setting up shop in his adopted country.
I'm very happy. This is my dream, actually, to have it as a permanent workshop, because we have been in the rent workshop before, and now we have our own. For me, as a person who lived in Qatar and studied in Qatar, I would like all my life that's to have some products in Qatar and carry the name made in Qatar. We can do a lot of works here in Qatar, and we didn't need to import it from outside.
He likes to keep things in-house, literally. Before hiring a social media manager, Natcha relied on his daughter's digital savvy to keep up with the changing times.
The new technologies, social media and advertising, of course.
That support went both ways.
In 2021, Hana Natcha followed in her father's footsteps and started her own business. But instead of a brick and mortar building like this one, she does all her sales and marketing exclusively online.
I started making cards when I was like 5, 6 years old, and I grew up making them. My mom has a collection of all like the little cards that I've made growing up. I've always been very passionate about gift giving and just making gifts very personal, and I wanted to bring that into the market as well.
The university student designs eco-friendly handmade cards and stickers for special celebrations.
There's always an occasion. There's always a way to make them happier with such a simple thing, and I love being a part of that.
And having a front row seat to her father's trials and successes inspired Hannah to launch her own specialty brand.
Growing up, I watched my dad grow his own business, and I watched him do it from the very start till where he is now, and how much he's developed and improved and how big he's gotten in the market. And I think that was very motivating for me.
I'm very proud of Hannah and how she created her own business, and she's very smart. I push her all the time to have a bigger and bigger business.
Across the city, another family business is also thriving, all from a casual Friday meal between father and son.
We saw an opportunity to bring a family business to start. And his idea was to initiate a factory that produces made in Qatar perfumes.
Soon after launching the perfume factory in 2018, the Al Matwis identified a market need early in the COVID-19 pandemic. With nearly 90% of the raw materials already in-house, the perfume makers pivoted to produce sanitizing products to help keep the local community safe. Having already partnered with international retailers, the family attributes the success of its growing business to several factors.
Luck, yes, luck. But I think this is God wish, God support, Hassan. And I think Qatari, they like the beautiful smell.
Next, the Al Matwis plan to take their Made in Qatar products across the GCC and into international markets.
Established businesses in Qatar have solidified their status as the country's main pillars of sustainable growth, while a supportive ecosystem is also spurring the emergence of small but ambitious entrepreneurs. And that's all the time we have on this episode. For more, check out Euronews.com and connect with us through our hashtag. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Qatar 365.